Thanks, guys. We're here with Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura, who had the first round finish today. Relatively peaceful draw. Were you hoping he went for a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, it's very tricky to know what you're supposed to do in such a situation. But I came into this tournament with a game plan, and it's a long tournament, first of all, but then secondly, with the experience of having played a couple of candidates, generally, if you just stay in contention, you'll get your chances towards the end. So it didn't feel like the moment to try and go crazy. I was obviously hoping that Abasov would do something a little bit sharper, but he played the exchange Slav, and what to do? It was just a draw.
I think it's fascinating what you just said that you have a responsibility to the fans. I mean, most people are here for themselves. Can you describe what you mean by a responsibility to the fans?
Well, I mean, it depends how you view chess, certainly. But I think that for the top players out there, if you're hoping to perhaps have more sponsors, more interest, you have to be more forthcoming in general with the public. And I think that's one thing that, I don't know if you can say like blame chess.com, blame FIDE, whomever, but I think the top players don't seem to understand this. And without, say, the younger generation specifically trying to create more social media interest or profiles, perhaps, I mean, I feel fairly secure in saying that I think that chess is kind of at its peak to some degree in terms of the interest. But you never know. Some of these juniors like Prague, Vincent, some of these other players, Noterbeck, of course, obviously, if they can stir up more interest and the public can kind of get behind them and root for them, I think the future could be very, very bright for chess. But as far as like this tournament, I think the fans definitely enjoy the recaps. I would say actually just I can tell this quite clearly from analytics, but for probably 2.5, 3 years, there was nothing but online content from everybody, and now a lot of people start playing all over the board, and the fans eat that up when you do recaps, when you live stream it, whatever it might be. And I think that when I give my perspective, it's a unique perspective. Other people cannot give that perspective. So for the fans, it's very good. And I think it's just a shame that like Fabiano, for example, isn't doing that, considering that he does some of this content creation. Because again, his views of his games are very unique. Even if I try to do a recap of his game, which maybe I will today, since my game was very boring, it's not going to be the same. So I think the fans enjoy it, and hopefully some of the other top players try to do it. I would also say that I think there's a certain mentality that's very sort of old school, that all this stuff is complete nonsense. It's a waste of time, takes away energy or focus from chess. But I think for myself, it's definitely added. And I think even for Fabiano, I think his results they got better, I think, when he started doing more of the podcasting stuff. So I think that the players, this old world mentality, all this stuff is nonsense, not worth it, is actually outdated. And it can definitely play a huge role and make you feel motivated to do better.
I watched your round one recap. You did 17 minutes with no editing. You drew one errant arrow. That's it. Otherwise, a totally clean take. Did you take training on that, or was that like your third take? Or tell us like how you got so good at just delivering a performance on your post game recaps.
Well, that was my third take, but not because I messed it up. Actually, it's my third take because first of all, when I started the recap, I had the tab muted. So if you make the moves, there are no board sounds. That was the first one. The second one, I think was I had the wrong logo or I had the wrong board, because actually on chess.com, if you try to do it from the events page, you can see the result. A lot of people complain about seeing the result, so you spoil it. So I have to basically copy paste it to an analysis board and do that. So those were some of the mistakes that I made. It wasn't actually like I got caught, my tongue got tied and I made any mistakes. But I would say that really the main thing is that I've just sort of done it enough times that I got used to it as opposed to anything else. And I think the other thing that a lot of people probably aren't aware of is that editing is nice and fine, but for things like recaps, you have to be very, very quick, as fast as you can generally, because there are a lot of people doing recaps of my game specifically. And if you need editing, that's going to probably slow down the process by at least an hour. So I've just done it enough times that I'm pretty used to it, and it's just something I do. There's no magic to it. You just go and do it. And I've done it on my stream a few times as well. I think I did it quite recently. So what you see is what you get.
I'm no stranger to tech issues. Let me ask you finally, because you're here for the people, on Monday, are you going to do an Eclipse stream and are you going to play the official Blitz event that night?
I thought about the Blitz event. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play at the Eclipse. I mean, I don't know. It's not a big deal to me. I feel like the last time I thought about any of that stuff seriously is already like 25 years ago. There was like Haley's Comet, I think, in 1999, around then. That's the last time I was paying any attention to this sort of stuff. So it's not my thing really. But the Blitz I might play. We'll see.
All right, I got to go back and look at my
It
Cosmos.
was Haley's Comet. I
I,
think it was 1999.
I
It was
don't.
like ages ago.
Yeah, Haley's Comet doesn't come around too often, but we're glad that Nakamura comes around every round. So there you go, a man of the people. Now back to you in the studio.